Hello everybody, just about ready to get started. Welcome Hyjin/Mint. So yeah, I just got back from a work conference. So I'm still trying to, I guess, wake up a little bit. But I figured before we get to the end of the rare drop rate week, we'd at least attempt one more bonus stream and see where it goes from there. Hopefully everybody's doing well today. I was gonna say, I legitimately did not get home until about 12 minutes ago. I'm gonna let Ephinea update. There's apparently some issue with the event wrappies that was causing them to become desynced. I'm not sure if this includes the update to automatically launch a quest. I mean, according to the non-crossed out text as I'm opening the launcher, I'm assuming it's not ready yet. But it should be interesting to be able to auto launch a game without needing to touch any of the settings. But hope you're all doing well today. Does not include the auto launch. Thank you, Hyjin/Mint, for confirming. What a day, chat. My work time started at 8:30. I got home at like 11. Like, I'm just like, So I had a little bit of food, so that should wake me up a little bit. Yeah, I've basically been driving all over the place in order to wrap up work events, so hopefully this will be the last one between now and the end of the Christmas event. Oh no, I see nobody waiting in the sacred lobby of Block 2, Lobby 12. Do a quick check at what people are doing currently. Nothing too crazy. Feel bad for people in like anything other than very hard mode. Minute swapping characters, no worry. So we'll give a couple minutes for the chat to kind of trickle in since we're starting at a very unusual hour. It's very rare I start a stream at approximately like 11:15 p.m. on my time. So we'll see. Most people usually drop off by that point. But it seemed like there was some interest in the Discord, so we'd figure give it a shot once. Ooh, lost spine assault. Ugh. Not gonna lie, that made me feel a little sick. Welcome, Kantalope. It's like, you can't prepare me for that lost spine assault. That was kind of gross. I was like, listen, I know I just came back from like a very long drive, but it's like, I don't care if it's an RBR. Like, no. Come on, you could do better. So what we might end up doing is, depending on the IDs we have available to us, we could do a mixture of like new mop-up 4 as well as some Christmas fiascos, but it really just depends on if we get another player or not. The Hyjin will swap out, which is fine. A big appeal for new mop-up 4 is red or green ID, and I could swap out. I have a red ID hunter. But don't get me wrong, it's not the end of the world. We're basically listening to the end of the Dynasty Warrior soundtrack. Legitimately, I think there's one more song left. Mr. Demonic says I'll get on soon. Hyjin says I have green. Oh, that's fun. I've actually been unironically enjoying Massive Attack Episode 4 a lot on Green ID. I'll blame Draken. Draken has definitely got me into that quest series quite a bit. But we end up getting a fourth player for that should be fine. Looks like Hyjin is here with the raw Morrow. So by soon, Mr. Demonic, do you mean you want us to do a run first? Or I'm okay with waiting a couple minutes. Figure out I would feel things out since we're in an unusual late night stream scenario. But yeah, Green ID has been kind of fun. Like, granted, there's only like a couple, maybe less than 5. Uh-oh, I see Tiggy in there. The magical Tiggy has appeared silently. It is not messaged in the chat, but Tiggy has appeared. What would you like more, Raw Moral or Rockasiel? Honestly, that question really just depends on your gear. Like, the way I put it is, if you're low gear, Rockasiel. If you are high gear, Raw Moral. So if you're not running, like, Demon Needles and, like, ES, Hell, whatever, Rockasiel's probably better. Not only does she naturally have generally more ATP, but traps are very useful. Listen, I'm not super picky when it comes to it. Listen, I don't need people to be running, like, you know, like, we're gonna only do Hugh-cast only, or, like, Rock-cast only, or Hugh-cast only combos or whatever. It's fine. So I'm thinking from the standpoint, Tiki has a white ID. We have a green ID here. Let's do a couple runs and see where things go. So if we want to have Mint/Hyjin host green ID, I'm okay with this. That'll get us started. And then depending on where we are in a couple runs, we'll have people swap in, swap out. I'm gonna walk around Mint/Hyjin. Still haven't decided which one I prefer to call Hyjin. But green IDD, very strong. Honestly, Christmas Fiasco is really fun, but it's one of those things where it's okay. It's one of those things where the dedicated hunts are always going to be super strong. Right? I mean, it's going to be one of those things. Character sort of close to 200, not sure I'm going to level yet, says Tiggy. I'll think about it. Yeah, leveling is not very exciting. I feel like newer players put a lot of emphasis on level 200. I think I've talked about this before on stream before. I am very anti-level 200. I'm like, if I'm level 200, this character is dead to me. Like, I could be leveling other characters when I'm not getting items. So I could choose to not get items on a level 180 character versus a 200 character. There's nothing more to get. But either way, we'll have Hyjin here, /Mint, generate the game. Green ID is very strong. I could, in theory, play Force if I want to, but nah. Oh, okay, you did Anguish 1. Okay, so then we'll do new mop-up 4 based off of this. To me, I don't have a preference. I mean, the RBR is pretty good. So we could start up with the new mop-up 4. We might switch to boss runs. Honestly, I'm kind of at the point where I almost prefer boss runs over RBR, but nothing wrong with new mop-up 4. We could do a complimentary run. So if you just want to steamroll it, Tiggy, you could bring in whatever. I'm good to go. I'm like, listen, UCAS needs like 2 items. I'm good. I say as I have like Calzone in one hand and gaming in the other. Hello, NPC. Fine, I'll put the Calzone down. As I left over from the work conference. Yeah, C-spawns like this are why I definitely prefer Hunter. Oops. I think PP Laser has its purpose, but man, this quest is just like so broken on Hunter. Like, I'll just come in here, for example. I'll just combo kill this Heaven Striker, dropping Pyrogoron. Kind of hard to compete with it. Yeah, I think after this we'll switch over to boss run. PP laser is real. I was gonna say, don't make me as the HuCast open these boxes. The one thing one of the only few things he's bad at. I mean, just look at that damage. That right there, It's even an Anguish one with reduced freeze duration. Man, it's so good here. Didn't finish my run in time. Says Shiva. Welcome, Shiva. Yeah, I want to make sure that, well, I mean, we'll be playing for a couple hours, so hopefully players are sticking around for a little bit. Make sure people we haven't played with before get a chance. You know, some people tend to drop off around midnight normally. I figured, let's see where things go. I'm not too picky in terms of what we run tonight, since this is just a bonus stream. Oh, Freeze Trap is so good. Star Atomizer? Don't mind if I do. I was really expecting that enemy behind me to still be there, but rip. Fine. It's basically a free Monday night. I'm sure a couple people will drop off. I was gonna say, hopefully we won't keep Tiggy up till like 2 a.m. We'll see though. Tiggy deserves rest. We're always happy to have Tiggy. Force getting bodied by the lone trap there. So we'll get some chances. Honestly, like, I know I haven't had a lot of chance to kind of upload and touch YouTube, which I do feel bad about. But trust me, when I'm not getting home until like 11 o'clock, you know, there's a certain point where I'm like, I genuinely haven't been able to verify the videos and stuff like that. I got excited for a moment. My brain went, ooh, rare sound. And then my eyes went, oh, Snake Spire. So sad. It's this way. I like that I played this quest enough that I'm starting to develop a subconscious level of where it goes. Like, if you put the quote-unquote charge ray gun to my head and you asked me what route to get through here, there's no way I would answer it correctly. But I'm just gonna believe through repeated runs of this quest, I will eventually learn where I need to go. Okay, I got 7 freezes left, I gotta be careful. Yeah, I want to make sure people that haven't been able to group as much get a chance to play. It's nice to play with some people that we haven't seen as much. Getting some runs with Tiggy is always nice. I am so sad that enemy hit me. I thought I got clear of them. This character could do 2,000 on a charge ray gun? What a monster. Yeah, I'm either gonna die or just believe in the group healing me. This is, I have full committed to the life of the HuCast, let me tell you. If I die, I die. Is what it is. The only thing I've like consciously learned about this quest is whenever there's a door that leads back to the center of the arena, that's the correct path. Otherwise, it's like I have no idea. interesting. I think we could have warped there. I'm gonna shoot that trap preemptively so the team doesn't get bodied by that later. Oh well. Yeah, I figured there were enough people in the Discord that said they were somewhat interested in doing runs, so if I got the support there from the Discord, that's enough to make me boot up. Like, most of the time, I'm just genuinely not interested in running solo. If I'm running solo, I'd rather just not be on stream, listen to my own music, watch a show. Less pressure that way. There we go. I used the area map to make sure that I chose the correct direction. Look at me adapting to the situation. Man, that damage is so good. You see where the PP laser kind of struggles to kill the Marissas. Oops, my bad. I don't know why I walked over there. Okay. I genuinely knew that's not where I needed to go. I'm gonna blame being slightly tired. Shoot the trap though. I was like, surely there's a warp over here. I don't know what I was thinking. It's fine though. That was so rude of them to slap me there. So even though this quest is very good for Heaven Striker, I wonder if it would be arguable if it's still worth doing like CF4 or boss runs over this, just to get like more present chances. Because it's like, what, a 1 in 2,250, I want to say? Chat can fact check me in real time. Present odds are not the best on Ultimate. Well, I say that, but I say that, but then 2 people get it. Or why not? Let's just casual banner again. Photon drop, not bad. I know. You can't make that stuff up. That was really good timing. How many PDs was that? 3 PDs. Okay. You know what? I can't even be mad at that. That's actually decent. So we got a little last area to go through over here. At least I don't think I was holding PDs, so I think that was 3 PDs. Got 3 freeze traps left. I could deal with this. Like that Goron detonator just completely whiffing their strike. So special. Oh, that refreeze, that was actually disgusting. I'm gonna teleport out as soon as this enemy's dead. Not dealing with Gurbulo, I don't really care. So let's do a normal episode 4 boss run. So the way it'll work is that if we happen to see Kandryu, we will inform the player that is green ID to drop at a specific time. I will choose to give up my Heaven Striker chance from the boss run, and I will give it to them. Even if it's a 100 hit, I will still give it to the other player. Just want to make sure we all get a chance to enjoy this. Supersonica says, "Dog, listen, the only way to hunt for handgun Mila is with white ID is Forest. It's the only way." I mean, to be fair, I think that's where I've gotten most of my Milas. Even if that's kind of like a joke, I genuinely have gotten pretty much only my handgun Milas from White ID. Whiteo's very silly. But welcome, Supersonica. Although, M.O. Forest. No, not Pod. Oh yeah, we're gonna teach you. There's another quest for boss runs for Green ID. Go to maximum attack, choose E4. That is like the bread and butter of Redria, but it's not bad on Greeno. There's actually a pretty high number of enemies for like a quote-unquote boss run. Yeah, it's not too bad. Pod is overrated. We don't need to do Pod. Pod is for those rare enemy weak believers. I am a firm... I'm a firm non-believer. Potentially an infidel of rare enemy weak, depending on how you view it. There's no faith there. I'm just gonna blaspheme on rare enemy weak every day. Rip the Rappy's getting spooked. I will say, just try to remember for this quest, don't go follow the initial wave during events so we can get the present chances. If you do it, it's not the end of the world. Just be aware that you will stop the presence from being spawned if you do that. I do it all the time, just to be clear. Not trying to pick on anybody there. Otherwise, for like these beyond the first wave, you can do it. Yeah, I was gonna say. Just make sure... I think we're gonna have to teach Kantalope when to go forward. I'm trying to transition into tired from work conference to actually teaching people how to do the run. So here's the deal. I'm gonna explain what's about to happen. You're gonna go into fire, ice, lightning in the following 3 waves. Then it's gonna be double Astar. When it goes into double Astar, I need the force to focus on Gafoi. The reason that you do that is because after that Astark wave, there's going to be a series of satellite lizards. So it's gonna be double satellite lizard. The hunters and rangers can focus on killing the Astarks as well as the zoo that spawns after this. So from this standpoint, I'm just going to turn around. I'm going to walk as a hunter back here. Force can stand still. So once this upcoming wave is defeated and the zoos are deleted, be aware that there's going to be triple Astark in the middle and it's going to go to Dwarfon. So this is proof that sometimes I do genuinely learn a hunt. So Force can Gafoi, but it just depends on, you know, how inconvenient this will be, depending on what kind of stats people have. So see how I, like, basically insta-deleted that Dwarfon? I could basically just do this, and you don't have to worry about demons. HuCast is so broken that the concept of using demons is, like, kind of a laughable offense to HuCast. I'm like, listen, I'm gonna normal heavy special, and that's gonna kill 90% of the enemies in the game. Just to be real with you. So if you're ever wondering what it's like to be a HuCast and you're always complaining about, you know, like, I feel like I don't do any damage as low-level Ramar, or I feel like I'm playing Funeral and I don't do anything, it's like, oh, it's because you're not HuCast. I'm just going to introduce the blunt but very sad truth that HuCast is incredibly broken. Once they have any kind of levels, it's over. They don't even need gear. They're actually just ridiculous. Like, HuCasteel can be nice in very rare scenarios where you're looking to be more of a supportive hunter. But yeah, generally speaking, like, who else is just gonna normal heavy and kill that Astar? The answer is basically nobody. Alright, so from this standpoint, what'll happen is that our Force user will continue to Gafoi. So the thing with Fo Numens is that you have to be fighting the wave that's ahead of you. So we're gonna fight an Astark here, and then a Zoo here, and then a Dwarfon. So the Force can continue to stack here and do just fine. Their only weakness is ATA. I'm gonna let you know that is, like, really not a thing. Once you realize that 50-hit Vulcans are very easy to trade for, In order to become like an effective Hue cast, you need a single PD. Maybe 2 if you're getting Smart Link. Like, the barrier of entry is hilariously low. Like, all those players were hitting buttons, and I just normal heavy special. Like, there's nothing that any other player can do to emulate this raw number and amount of damage. And, like, who other than HueCast is going to walk up and confuse trap these targets? So that way all the lizards just make sure they turn towards each other for more X-Cal swings. You know, it's like, oh no, look out, there's an Astark. Whatever am I going to do? Oh wait, I just froze everybody. HueCast OP. If you don't believe me, I don't know what to tell you. But even playing while like very tired, just like this character is just ridiculously unfair. He basically just allows every other character to land nothing but specials with free strap. I mean, like, what is this lone Astark gonna do? What is he gonna do? He's dead. He's dead. Team doesn't even need to like bother demoning him. Like, he's just genuinely dead. Like, see this Astark? Normal, heavy, special, dead. You don't need like 60 hit Vices, like, which is what I'm using. Honestly, 50 hit Charge Vulcan is more than good enough. Even from the standpoint of just doing normal heavy, that also is probably good enough. If you're remotely near max ATP, aka just leveling, it's over. Like, what else can they do? So my goal here is to basically protect them when we come up to Astark. So we don't have a lot of forces. So I'm going to request everybody come over here for a group. Please come over here. The force needs to go forward as soon as the Astark is dead. Alright, so just be careful here. Doing it too early makes them go further back, so that's more of an experience thing. So if players do that, it's not the end of the world. Just be aware that if you do Gafoi too early, it means that like Rangers can't like arrest Needle correctly there. So it actually makes the run very hard. Now, alternatively, if you're playing Quadra Force, then you just meme in the middle, and you don't need to do the strat that we're doing here. Chiba says, my Impulsiveness wants to spend my first stack of PDs, but I'm not sure on what. I did not mean to use that. I mean, I guess it just really depends on what class you're looking to play. I honestly feel like characters like HueCast need very little to do well, but it's mostly through trading, right? Because you're not going to just instantly come into like a 50-hit Charge Vulcan. You're not going to come into a Smart Link. You're generally not going to have a ton of Heavenly Arms. So remember how I said before the HueCast just deletes every enemy? I hope that was a proof of concept. Like, there's nothing any player can do to emulate this character's damage. He's just actually genuinely broken. He does a little worse versus the cruise boost satellites, but it is what it is. Mostly force. Honestly, if you already have Gafoi and Rafoi merged, there's really very little I would recommend. PDs are mostly meant to kind of finalize the weapons on Hunters and Rangers. You see that Marissa that would normally be hard for anybody to kill, doesn't matter. Yeah, Gafoi merge is a absolute must in Ultimate. I would try to get the components. So one thing I forgot to talk about, because there's so many conversations going on simultaneously, make sure as a force you end up at the far west side of the room here. The reason being you don't want to spook the Rappies. So just remember, if you come there, after you kill Marissa, walk to the wall, because you want to make sure they don't run. Now it doesn't matter, because you already killed the Rappies. After this, there's going to be a room that requires a zoo kill. So this requires usually a force to Robarda. The force needs to be like ASAP in here. Come up, force. Get ready to Robarda. What I like to do is called the wiggle. So I'm going to do it for the other player. I'm going to do a little wiggle. So if you do the wiggle, that'll force them to die bomb. Now, if you walk in the center of the room, there's going to be Goron detonators. Please debuff them with Jellin and Zalor. Walk in the center of the room and debuff. There we go. Now, from a forces standpoint, stack Gafoi. Stack Gafoi like your life depends on it. Stack it. Go crazy. Never stop. In fact, never ask again. Just keep stacking Gafoi. Just assume, unless I say otherwise, your default reaction will be to stack Gafoi. Like, every enemy here could be a problem, but I'm just going to freeze trap some of these. It doesn't really matter. See this Goron detonator? It doesn't matter. I didn't freeze trap him. I'm a HueCast. Doesn't matter. So see all these Gorons that would normally kill a force? Oh no, they're confused. Oh no, they're getting hit by Gafoi. Yeah, literally, okay, until you see Gertabulu, just keep Gafoiing. That'll be my advice to new players if you don't know the spawns very well. So we're gonna come up to a wave of Zoo, followed by Ring of Rappies. After this will be Gertabulu. So if you want to be really cute, you can stand near the red door here. I'll showcase this just for chat. You can actually just shoot the Gertabulu and kill him instantly with demons. Now, granted, I don't have demons, but Hucast's kind of dumb, so as long as somebody demons him, he's just dead instantly. Oh, there we go. Orso is Gafoi. Oh yeah, that would have been a very awkward acronym, I agree. Okay, so here's one of the few times you don't Gafoi. So I need you to debuff the Goron Detonator, then I need you as a force to come over to where Tiki is. So where I'm currently attacking, come over here and get ready to Robarda the Zoos. After that, once you debuff the Goron Detonator wave, after that, I need you to stack Gafoi. So this is like one of the few rooms you don't just Gafoi spam. So do what you can to kill the Zoos. There you go, good stun lock, thank you. Now debuff them and just stack out of your mind. Go crazy. I don't feel like teaching you the waves at the moment. just go absolutely mad. Trust me, we will deal with everything else. Just keep stacking. If you feel like it's not effective, don't worry. Next wave, when we fight these Marissas here, they'll be like, wow, we're so thankful Force exists. Yeah, the more you could do here, the better. I got bodied. Rip. Just keep stacking. We believe in you. So eventually, when you see Gertabulu, that's your cue that the room is done as a new Force player. So even if I'm presenting a lot of information, just realize when you see Gertabulu, that's when you can be like, nah, it's done. I can officially focus on other spells. That'll be your, beginner guide to learning how to do this room. So I'm gonna do a very cute strategy. I hope everybody enjoys my cute strategy. I'm gonna walk to the end of this room. Confuse trap. There's going to be a series of 3 Goron Detonators against the door. I want the Force to go dead center in this room. Force needs to go absolute dead center. Start stacking Gafoi, never stop stacking Gafoi. This quest is very Gafoi-centric. You'll know you've done a good job if every enemy spawns in front of you, and if any enemy spawns behind you, you're too far forward. That'll be your learning cue if you've never done this quest before. So there we go. To see how those Goron Detonators were facing their backs towards the Force player, that's a good sign. So if you were not perfectly wedged between them, just realize that means you're too far forward. And we are good. Keep stacking Gafoi. There we go. See how that Goron Detonator spawns? Doesn't matter. I'm going to protect the Force. Protect our Force. Just keep stacking. Literally never stop stacking. Until you see Goron Detonator, 4 Satellite Lizards, you can keep stacking Goron Gafois here. So there's the Zoo in the corner. I'm just gonna make sure the Force takes as low damage as possible. See how that Goron Detonator would normally be a problem? Doesn't matter. I'm gonna delete him. So there's gonna be a Gertabulu at the door, and believe it or not, we're actually done. We're about to reach the boss. So if we have a demon player here, this enemy is ultra dead. Goodbye. Anyway, pretty smooth run all the way through. So there you go, Kantalope. We've taught you a new run. Congratulations. So here's the deal. Whoever is player 1 should not walk up and touch the boss. So Kantalope, don't approach the boss. Go very slow. You can come towards us a little bit so you're not really far back. We'll trigger the boss. So in the event that it's St. Million, it's okay. You want to know why it's okay? Green ID gets Galatine. Galatine is one of the best Force weapons in the game. GG. So you don't need to drop off, we'll just kind of deal with enemies. We'll see this St. Million. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and delete him. Yeah, with the Hunter here, we're not really worried about killing yellow, orange versus red. So, as a Ramaro player with Pew Pew Laser, they are the designated worm killer boss. So for people that have not done this boss before, be aware that the Hunter will never assist you. Just my goal is to stay in this room. If you want to think of this room like a big clock with that little circle in the area map as kind of the center of the clock, I want to stay at roughly 5 o'clock position. Forces are actually pretty good at Rebarda spamming, but you have to be dead center on the boss. So everybody should go over there. There should not be a single person in this room other than me. I do not need you in this area. I guarantee you. If you're here, you're wasting time. Go to the other room. If you think a HuCast needs help killing Saint Million, I'd be like, I'm gonna inform you. I will probably combo kill this boss. So the goal is there are 4 cores on the boss. I'm gonna open up the area map for people that have not played it before. They're gonna stay pretty much dead center. It's really up to the discretion of the players there. If they're not feeling comfortable with hitting everything evenly, somebody can just rest the spam, and that's fine. Like, that honestly speeds it up a lot. So if you see something like that, please grants. Oh, okay, we got it. So 2552 is the magic number. So see, this boss is about to come over to me. And it's dead. I tried to break it there. So HuCasts don't care. So if you want to know how to optimize your run, it'd be like everybody should be over there. HuCast doesn't need help. HuCast is legitimately gonna combo kill that boss. So good job, team. That was a pretty fast kill. And it was evenly killed, so that meant that the boss came in the chamber. If you don't evenly kill there, for reference, what'll happen is the boss will do some pretty garbage things to you. It'll kind of laser you, and then it might go in one of the side chambers, and then it might come back. So killing the boss evenly is key. So if you're feeling a little unsure, it's fine. Just talk to other players and be like, listen, I'm kind of whack at killing the boss. Somebody should be at least 2 players should be a designated boss killer with maybe a 3rd support. Now, if you're feeling really comfortable with the quests, you could have 3 people kill the boss. There's really no issue with that. But otherwise, you know, I would like to think that run went pretty well. I might go rebuy some Trimates while I'm here. But it's honestly not too bad. Like, Desert is very Gafoi focused. There's some portions in Crater Interior or Crater East, I forget how it works on this quest, that's like, it's okay to Gafoi stack. But there's gonna be a couple of waves where it's like, no. This is where you need like a Hunter and Ranger to deal with the problems. Like, Forces are not inherently very good at killing things like Astarks or even to an extent Zoos. So generally speaking, I as a HuCast will just go around and insta-delete every mini-boss. I'm gonna make your life really easy. So kind of like how we don't need 2 people in that final chamber, I will instantly kill that boss as soon as it spawns. It genuinely cannot survive max ATP HuCast. HuCast is absolutely busted. So we're gonna go ahead and let Mint create another game. So from the standpoint, if we see Dwarf on Eclair, we don't need to exit the game. We will get chances of Cannon Rouge there. If we get Rare Boss, we'll talk about like when the best time to avoid the boss is. Kantalope is bursting. But genuinely, it's one of those quests that is not crazy hard to learn. You just have to kind of recognize there's like little patterns you can observe on the surface versus Desert, and then the run goes like butter smooth. So having like a sub 13 is already like 70% better than your average pub run. Just letting you know. Like if you did this in pub runs, Tiki said wait. What's our second ID? I don't know. Who is our second ID? Is it me? I mean... yeah, it might be White ID. I mean, I'm kind of okay with that. White ID's okay. Generally, we prefer player 2 to be purple or RN because we could get Heaven Striker or Excal, but White ID still gives limiter. I'm okay with this. It's not like the best choice, but it's fun. I'm like, listen, I'm playing HuCast, I'm gonna be doing my pew-pew deleting nonsense. That's all you need to know. Like, see these group of enemies? They're so done. Look at that damage. Actually just combo killed him. Even though I missed one strike. What BS. Oh my gosh, I did 2,000 on a single strike. What a gross character. Look at that damage. So yeah, for people that are questioning whether or not HuCast is good, you don't even need like hyper optimal weapons. Honestly, you just need accuracy. And getting like a 50 hit Vulcan is really genuinely not that hard. So I'm gonna switch to a Vice here because I'm gonna wait for Dorphons. So of course we'll continue spamming. This Dorphon's actually dead. Goodbye. I am the demon. So just remember, it's fire, ice, lightning, Astark, double Gafoi wave, etc. Congratulations. I don't know why I thought I had Discover, but... Oh, was that a range? Awkward. Every now and then, as long as the Force very rarely heals me, I'll be happy. I'm not gonna put them on healer duty, but it'll save me some trimates. Kind of like I'm over here, I'm like, yeah, the zoo is dead. And the zoo do. Fine. Just... That guy should be dead. Your HuCast is excellent at finishing off enemies. I'm getting a lot of items there, not too bad. If Sacred Duster has machine percent, it's actually not a terrible item. Just FYI. So it having like 50-60% machine means you could use it on like a Ramar, for example, to stun lock Vol'ak. It's very situational, don't get me wrong. Welcome, Kirby. Hope you're doing well. I'm menuing his booty. I apologize for that. I don't apologize for deleting that zoo, though. He knows what it did. Don't mind me, just deleting an Astarks. Just remember, it's gonna be Babuda, and then everything after this will be susceptible to Gavoe. As long as we can protect the Force, and they occasionally just debuff, should be fine. So see how like all those lizards spawn? I'm like, yeah, that Astark is dead. See how this Zeus spawn? I'd be like, yeah, that Zeus dead. See how this Dorphon spawn? I'd be like, yeah, Dorphon's also dead. GG. Fine. Actually, that one's a little far. I might not hit him. But Gavoe killed him. Good job, team. Out of space. But it's one of those ones where I feel like this quest is actually pretty genuinely rewarding to learn. It's got a pretty high number of enemies to fight. So unlike like a TTF, you will actually get a decent chance of presence and other materials as you play. And as we talked about before on a couple different streams, the surface enemies have a genuinely very high drop rate compared to desert. Although I think the music just paused, right? Music. Go AFK for like 1 minute to go fix this. I'm gonna pause that. Let's switch over to Dynasty Warrior 6. Anyway, there's an Astark here. Past tense. So stuff like, as long as the force keeps Gafoing, I don't really need to worry about anything. Like, genuinely, it's pretty easy to learn this run as a force. There's a lot more, like, nuance with, like, a cast. I have to figure out, like, do I want to confuse trap versus freeze trap? You know, how many traps do I have access to? Is it worth using certain things at certain times? Let's come over here. So the reason we come over here is just to make sure the Dorphons charge and basically miss us. So please just make sure to debuff them when this happens. Life easier, so please go away after they die. Okay. Sure. Oh, I don't like how spread out they were. Yeah, that guy's dead. As I said before, like, it's not too bad to learn. Just realize as a force, there's like certain enemy cues that will teach you bad things are about to happen to you. So for this quest, for example, if you remember nothing else about the spawns, just realize that zoo equals bad things are about to happen to you. So if you see zoos, you're like, I'm gonna respect that. So just know if you see zoos, you're like, oh, I should be Gafoe stacking. As long as our force, just make sure after this kill is performed, walk to the far west wall. So if you exit the door, it's just walking straight forward. So just get ready to walk forward. The reason you want to do this, we don't want to spook the Rappies during event. So see how these Rappies spawn here? Just don't spook the Rappies. If you spook them, it means you're not close enough to them, and you need to run directly towards them. After that, you can come back to the center. In like normal runs of this quest, would it matter? No. During events, it matters a little bit. I picked that up, that's so sad. Well, I'm gonna delete the Marissas, and by the time the Gertabulu gets low, I'm gonna kill the Gertabulu. Such is the life of HellCleave. So we're always gonna let the Force go first here. I have no interest in entering this room. So just remember, when you Robartist unlock the zoos, walk into the middle of the room when they're about to die. So come in the middle of the room and debuff. So if you don't have Glide Divine, you don't need Glide Divine to hit everybody. Perfect debuffs. Now what I want you to do as a force, exactly. Go back to Gafoe stacking. Perfect. You're learning Kantalope. That's exactly what you need to do. The reason you do this, you see these Marissas here? They're about to get absolutely bodied. So even if you're solo force, they take a lot of damage there. If you're using Gafoe Merge, they genuinely won't even get a chance to do anything. Now, if I was a slightly better HellCleave player, I would have trap shot that freeze trap. You know, you can blame me on that one. That is genuinely a HellCleave player fault. There's nobody else to blame except for me on that one. But it is what it is. So anyway, they're going to keep stacking, and as I said before, we're going to see a couple... I'm not going to interfere with this wave. We're going to see like a Zoo Rappy wave. That's the visual cue for... So the demon player should come to the red door, and they should be ready to delete this Gertabulu. Yeah, there we go. So I can always stand behind the Gertabulu to make sure it has the most amount of time to turn and fight me. So there's like a lot of little nuance to it you could introduce into the quest to make it a bit easier. For this room, you're going to see all the lizards here. So the Force does not actually need to Gafoe stack here. This is like the only exception to the rule. Just remember, if you come to this room, focus on debuffing and dealing with every enemy. So until you get done with the zoos, don't bother stacking. That'll be my advice to new players here. They're gonna fight the zoos, which again, we don't really need Gafoe stack for. I'm gonna go ahead and delete a zoo because life is unfair. And immediately they're gonna debuff. So just make sure you debuff here because it's kind of critical. Because there you go, perfect. Now go right back to Gafoe stack and stack that Gafoe. Don't worry about that zoo, I'll kill that zoo for you. See, that's the kind of thing, if you're playing with like hunters and rangers, realize that like you as a force are never going to be able to kill a zoo at the same rate that I'm able to kill a zoo. But at the same time, I'm not going to be able to insta-delete these Marissas at the same rate that like 5 Gafoes will kill them. So what I'll try to do is I'll put a couple of courtesy freeze traps down. So that way, you know, the force has free reign, they can keep stacking, they get to have a good time. I'm gonna put like another freeze trap in between us. Perfect, now I can kill one of them. And we're gonna go right back to the same thing as before. So I'm gonna walk between the waves. I like to use Confuse Trap here. You can actually freeze traps since I have a lot of freeze traps left over. But ideally I want to be set up so that the team with good AoE kills everything else here. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot this freeze trap here with triple freezes here. And as long as our force is setting up Gafoe right now, they should be good. But you know, they can assist a little bit with the lure if they want to, but it's not like crazy necessary. So they're going to be stacking, they're going to have to deal with Goron Detonators and Marissas, so I'm not going to interfere. I'm going to stay near them to freeze trap though. If you want to be a quote-unquote bro to your force, this is what you do. There you go. See how much easier that is? The enemy didn't even get to do anything. They're going to keep on stacking Gafoe. If I see anything bad, I'm like, nah, you don't get to do anything. So for whatever reason you level up or you escape dull and you have extra freeze traps, you might as well just do this, make their life easy. That way the force is like, oh, look how easy this is. I just spam one ability. Oh, look, an enemy almost got close, and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna freeze trap. You see what I mean? This is easy stuff. So we're gonna deal with one more wave of Gorons. I'm gonna put down a freeze trap. So force will keep stacking Gafoe. The moment they see Goron Detonator, Lizard, that's when they know they can exit Gafoe mode. That's probably the hardest thing to learn. If somebody doesn't tell you that's the wave, you know, they'll be like, oh, maybe I stack more. And it's like, now, when you see this, you move on. You get a Rafoe or whatever, but just be aware, it's just solo Gerda-Bulu, so extra stacks don't really matter. Go kill this thing to speed up the run. I'll let the force heal me later. See that? Look how butter smooth that is. It's like we don't need people that are like seasoned players. I'll walk you through. Okay. You know what? I'm kind of happy we don't see Kandryu. I'm like, I want my Galatine chat. I don't know about you. I'm super greedy for Galatine. I'll be like, oh no, you got me the item I actually wanted. Oh, what a shame. Anyway, HuCast is gonna make sure that we are not waiting around. So here's the other thing. Here's where you could tell like veteran players versus newer players. Be aware that if Tiggy and I are on that worm, everybody else can just go to the exit. So that's probably the hardest thing to get used to. Just be aware that like it genuinely only takes me 6 moves to kill that boss. And Tiggy, I think it's like 8 or 9. But either way, if you're like on the opposite side of the crystal and you see something on the southwest, just go, you got it, bro. just walk away. Just be like, yeah, you got it. I'm not gonna bother. I have a Mag Blast in case I really want to try to break the cutscene again. The fun part about being high-level force here is that you can afford to just hold like a PB increase or a PB create. And 14 minutes of Mag Blast generally means that you're going to hit 100 Mag Blasts every time you run this quest. Ooh, team is doing real well with those clears. Ooh, look at St. Million's health. St. Million getting deleted out here. Oh, okay, they just need one more. Okay, as long as somebody grants is here, we're okay. These grants. Oh no, team didn't grants. I got trolled. Yep. Just be aware that even when it goes underground, you can grants. It doesn't need to be above ground to grants though. That's okay. Alright, so unfortunately I'm about to get lasered in the face. We'll call that the punishment of being HuCast. So don't walk over to the boss, it doesn't do anything. Stop walking towards the boss. Oh, I almost died instantly, that was scary. So just be aware, like, because it was allowed to leave at not 2552, that means that it's gonna come over to where I'm at. So see how I repositioned already? That's how you can tell the experience. I tried to break the boss again, I tried. Rance is really good at fixing if for whatever reason a desync occurs, which is most likely to happen if a force is using Rabarda, just because Rabarda's range is kind of whack compared to Razond. Pew Pew Laser, it should never realistically desync. If it desyncs the player bad, I don't know what to tell you, just practice more. Just like, the Pew Pew Laser is like the easy mode of that boss. If you desync it there, I'm be like, genuinely, this has to be like one of the first 10 times you've ever played the quest. But aside from that, it's like such good XP. Yeah, I'll take those tickets for sure. So we can do a couple more of these if we want to. Then after that, we can switch it up a bit. Ooh, I'm up to 4 photon drops. Ooh. Yeah, but genuinely been enjoying QCast here. Like, it's kind of those weird things where in the quest guide, like, do I think QCast is really good at this quest solo? No. Do I think, like, a team of 3 QCast is really good at this quest? Generally, no. You know, with a couple presents, you'll have, like, 30. I've already opened all mine, sadly, Shiba. That's all I've gotten. I got one really good gift, and then just nothing. In fact, I've barely gotten presents since then. So we're up 2 presents in, like, 6 hours of gameplay. It's kind of brutal. It is what it is. Oh, don't even get me started on the paint. I hate the paint. If I get paint, I'm getting full tilted on stream. I'm just letting you know. I'm so over that. I think at one point I had like 4 or 5 violet paints in a row. I'm like, you know what? Out of principle, I feel like I just can't upgrade Red Ring to use those colors. 35 hours of gameplay? No. Haven't played that much. I guess I could confuse trap this. There's no real downside of me trying this. There we go. So after these rappies get bodied, you can start Gafoe stacking. In fact, I wouldn't even... Yeah, there you go. Perfect. That's exactly when I would start Gafoe. Absolutely beautiful. Zoo is ultra dead. Goodbye. So HuCast here is just to help to kill mini bosses. So even though I don't mark like every quest is like HuCast friendly, it's not to say like HuCasts or hunters in general can't do well in the quests. It just means they're probably not going to be the predominant character in the quest. I think that's one thing I want to make sure our guide kind of emphasizes. Like, I think HuCast is amazing here. Would I want to run like triple HuCasts? Probably not, unless they were like geared out of their mind. But just like single HuCasts having the equivalency of like 50 hit, 60 hit, kind of gross. What can these enemies realistically do? So I'm just gonna make everybody's life easy by confuse trapping, freeze trapping, etc. And then on top of that, my damage is busted. By the time they try to do something, it's over. See this enemy here? Goodbye. Actually dead in 2-button. Wild. I said before, I'm allowed to make some mistakes. We're playing with the Force. Normal heavy is good enough to kill. See that? You don't even need charged Vulcan. You just need Vulcans. Crazy. Almost died there. Guess I could have respected that damage a bit more. Well, I'm so scared there's no Gafoe. There's no Gafoe! That is such a scary thing. Episode 4 likes to play a prank on you, where if an enemy feels like they don't die to fire damage, they usually have an enemy that is weak to fire damage afterwards. I might go grab this technique if I can find it. Yeah, I'll take that deep end 20. I'm leveling raw morals. I missed the Gazan 20 earlier, but it is what it is. Probably put away that Centurion ability. I really genuinely don't need it. So yeah, I'm showcasing the power of PB Crate, that even swapping it out, I just end up with like an insane amount of boost. To see the zoo over here, goodbye, you're dead. Look at that, look how easy that made it. All the rangers and forces deal with the AoE enemies. Like, yeah, it's your problem. Grab some mine materials, etc. Here's where we gotta protect our force. You see that? Look at that. Hunter, undisputed champion at killing those enemies. There's no way they're doing anything. Look at that freeze. Look how easy this is. Also, Rick autoplay. Man, I thought the autoplay issue was fixed. I don't know what its problem is. Ooh, I was misaligned. Oh, I got hit by the other one. Lucky. Pause. No. Thanks, Dynasty Warriors. Yes. Oh, there's just 2 minutes of silence in the soundtrack. Cool. I think that happened last time we played. That actually wasn't autoplay's fault. Somebody just uploaded a 5-minute song where only 2.5 minutes of song. Cool. That's a thing for some reason. What's the amount of mine materials as we play? Did I play E33? No. Well, that SR is super dead. This is Buddha just gotta walk at the range, rip. Yeah, I'm aware of the acronym. I've not played it. I don't play a lot of games when they first come out, to be honest. I've been burned so bad the past couple of years, I just kind of refuse to at this point. I'm tired of playing games that are not properly play-tested or fixed. Timing. So you can tell that Kafoi timing was better. Look how close together these enemies are. I could actually genuinely just get these. For me personally, I just have no reason to play a game on launch. I feel like my learning experience was playing Watch Dogs 1. And I'm like, you know what? I don't think these publishers respect me. So if they don't respect me, I'm not going to play their game. I'm like, you know what? These are all the things they promised. It was a terrible mess. I'm good. Like, no. Not touching these anymore. And we got burned a little bit. We even did some indie game stuff, and like, honestly, the indie game stuff was like not stable. It was very disappointing. Yeah, Watch Dog 1 was one of the few times I actually genuinely felt lied to as a consumer. That was my growing up experience. I'm like, you know what? I am not falling for this anymore. Fool me once, shame on you. There's not going to be a twice. I feel disappointed when we wait like a year and the game is still not where it should be. Because that I feel like is doing due diligence, where we are very much holding off and we check reviews and we find stuff that is not talked about. Yeah, I don't play Monster Hunter, so I don't know about that. You enjoyed Watch Dogs? That game was unplayable to me. That was one of the few games I played it for like 3-4 hours, and I'm like, this game actually just lied to me. I'm done. I was like, the fact that there is actually, unironically, you could look this up, there is a genuine E3 setting where they put in all of the graphic settings that were disabled for the console release. It was just there. Like, it was there, they just turned it off. Like, oh, okay. Yeah, Watch Dogs 1 was just not really fun to me. So what I could do here to be cute is I could put a freeze trap over here and then freeze trap these guys if I feel like it. That's if I'm feeling like especially cute with UCast. I don't usually bother with that though. Yeah, it showcased like a whole bunch of things that just don't exist in the final product, including how things like hacking worked was a lie, the trailer. I was like, you know what? I'm done. The Ubisoft is on that perma game ban list. I will never play a game by Ubisoft on stream. Ever. They're on the hard burn list. I have no interest in promoting games that they have. It just felt like worse GTA. And even then, I don't think GTA was like the end-all be-all at that time. I actually like Saints Row 2 more than GTA at that point. Look at me go. I could freeze trap these ground detonators as well, but it's fine. It's kind of like back in the day when E3 was showing this, you know, very high-end graphic Zelda game, and then they released Wind Waker, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not buying this. It's like, no. No. But that's what I'm talking about. I'm just like, oh, you got rid of the one thing I cared about? Oh, I'm not buying your game. It's like, I don't like the art style at all. Not even remotely. But that's what I'm talking about. It's just kind of like the end of a generation. So I got burned with Watch Dogs, and I'm never going back to it. That has left me very pessimistic about the game industry in general. Oops. I'm gonna need a heavenly power. I was gonna say, I stopped playing Zelda when the game became about Sha, ya, Sha, like every 5 seconds. I'm like, listen, as somebody that does not want to listen to that for like 7 hours, like I'm gonna be a hard pass on that. It's like, I'm like, I already find this extremely, exceptionally irritating. I don't feel like sitting through this. So it's like, I can't imagine listening to that for literally hours on end. Why could I? Oh, I got hit forward. So I was like, why did I miss the trap shoot there? Never mind. I almost protected them. I froze most of the enemy with my defense. Yeah, it's just one of those things where I don't know. I think I genuinely grew out of open worlds over time. Like, I used to play them a lot, and then I'm like, you know what? I just don't care. So it's like, I just don't feel, like, satisfaction from playing, like, games people enjoy, like Red Dead, or even, like, the modern GTAs. So I'm like, you know what? I think my tastes have changed. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with some of those games. I just don't care. Oh, you watch Game of the Year stuff? Oh, okay. Hot take. I think that is absolute commercial trash garbage, and I will never watch those. I have no interest in those. I do not care about the opinions of people talking about from their little sales pitchy place on any of that stuff. No interest. Uh-oh. Why is nobody hitting the other one? No! Nobody hit the other one! I'm getting trolled. The trolling is real. No, I don't care whatever people do run that event ever. I have refused to watch the Game Awards show. I never will. It's kind of like people watching Super Bowl commercials or people going through and seeing movie nominations. Like, why do you care? Why do I care what some, like, superficial celebrity says about something? They don't even know what they're talking about, like, 90% of the time. Like, ah, yes, corporate plant, I too will buy your game that you're supporting with game subs or whatever. So this is just like, I just don't care. It's like families like, wow, did you see this really funny commercial? Like, I pay to not watch commercials. I'm like, I respect my time. I'm like, that to me is like loony. That's like lunacy to me. Like, hell no, I'm not watching commercials. What's wrong with you? Oh, he's so lucky he reeled backwards. I'm like, come on. Consumerism. I don't need to be pandered to with some stupid ass commercial. Call that a hot take from me. Like, no, thank you. I'm like, those are the things I mash skip on YouTube if I happen to be on my phone. Why would I want to willingly dedicate my time to some thing I will probably never purchase? It's just, to me, it's just like mind-boggling. I could not disassociate with that event more than anything else. Like, it's just crazy to me. It doesn't make any sense. Like, we literally pay more to avoid commercials, and then people will go out of their way to watch the commercials. Like, just, I don't know. Crazy. Mostly play old games and roguelikes. Kantalope is going to sleep. Thank you for joining us, Kantalope. Did you want to join us, Shiba? I tend to play mostly just third-party titles at best. Honestly, I very rarely touch first-party material at this point. I don't know what to tell you, Shiba. Rip Shiba. Okay. So we'll see if we could get a fourth person in here. I can be force if needed. I don't really care. I can switch it pretty well with different characters. Whether I'm being ATP, MST, MST, or just ATP, it doesn't really matter. I will put away some of these items, though, as we wait. Yeah, I was not a fan of Slay the Spire. I really gave that a try for probably about a year. I just feel like it's just kind of missing the... It's missing the stuff that I would really be interested in, to be honest. I think a problem with it is, like, so much of it is RNG, I just don't have fun with it. I haven't played Bull Ultra because that's pretty much banned and or censored on YouTube/Twitch, so I've not bothered to play it. If it didn't have that kind of like stigma with it, I would maybe play it on stream. Yeah. So I personally will not invest time in the game. I originally was interested in it, but at this point I'm not. So we'll let other people... We'll wait a couple minutes in the lobby. Yeah, Slay the Spire I just feel like was okay. It's one of those ones where, like, there's kind of a knowledge check in terms of, like, what events are good in certain acts. And then I feel like I want to run certain builds and I just can't compared to, like, other card builders. And honestly, I've liked other card builders more. Like, I put more hours into, like, spin-off games than I have Slay the Spire. And it's not to say, like, I haven't sunk hours into it. Like, I got to, like, Ascension, like, 1 or 2 on stream. So it's not like I haven't beaten it. And I did go up to at least Act 4 a few times. And I'm like, you know what? This isn't really fun. Because if I don't draw a certain card after doing, like, 30 battles, I'm not going to win. So, like, why am I going to get excited about the run? And like that was my problem with it. I was like, I'm just like, I genuinely don't think I could beat like certain bosses if I don't have certain cards. So if I don't draw certain cards, it's over. GG. I feel like that to me is very unsatisfying from that kind of game. So I had more fun with like Monster Train or I forget the name of the Inc game where you build the map as you go. Both of those I had a lot more fun with overall than Slay the Spire. I don't usually want to do like a lot of continual hours of those, so it is what it is. Welcome, Very Hard Enjoyer. We have been saved by force. We'll dance around Chips. Welcome, Chips. So we could do like maybe 1 or 2 more episode 4, but if you want to switch over to Christmas Fiasco at any point, team, just let me know. So, like, I played Slay the Spire a lot, and it's like, the 1 or 2 times I had fun with it, it was like, oh, I got, like, stuff like creative AI. And I'm like, oh, wow, now it makes sense. I'm like, oh, now I could do all these builds. And then it's like, oh, I'm about to do, like, 40 runs and never see this item again. So for me, it's just, like, really hard to get excited. No, it's not the mods. It's a base game. No, that's base game. It's like creative AI or something. It's the one that duplicates powers. It's a gold card on the other one. Yeah. So it's like if I don't draw that card, then I don't have fun with it. So it's like I just don't enjoy it. It like if I want to play like a defensive build and I don't draw like Bulwark or whatever on the Ironclad, then I'm like, well, this sucks. Or if it's like, oh, you know, I want to do a strength build, and then it gives me nothing but defense cards, and I'm like, well, okay, let me try to adapt my strategy, and then I don't get any relics with it. I don't have fun with that. So for me, it was just like, pff, I'm done. It was like, I'm tired of like how little control I have over this run. So I'm good. So maybe people really enjoy those kind of really dead runs. Like, don't get me wrong, I could genuinely get to, like, Act 3, like, every time. But, like, when I want to just beat Act 4, and it's like, wow, I just never drew anything useful. Cool. Guess I'm not completing Act 4. I've killed, like, 9 mini-bosses. I have, like, 11 upgrades with relics and stuff like that, and not a single one goes with the build. It's just, like, it's the worst feeling in the world. I'm like, wow, this sure would be great if any of these boosted strength. Cool. None of them did. Cool. Run's over. Are you fishing for the vampire thing in order to get healing to make the fight easier? Oh, you never got that event either? Oh, GG. I just don't care about that stuff. So for me, I just found it very unsatisfying. Just because so much of it was locked around stuff that was kind of in like the early mid-game acts. So I have to play like at least an hour or so in order to determine whether or not the run is actually going to go really well or not. I just don't really find that interesting. Compare that to like Monster Train, where I'm locked in. I get to play the character build that I want at the start, and I have enough options that even if I don't get like purely what I want, I could still go really far. As long as I'm aware of like some of the bonuses. Is there a reason they're using stealth armor? Is this Darude Sandstorm? Why is this in the Dynasty Order Center? Oh, just some random person, the soundtrack there. I'm pretty sure that was Darude Sandstorm. Tiggy uses it because it removes the ricochet effect of guns. I'm just like... So, it's generally... It also speeds up warps. So if Tiggy takes like a warp, it'll be faster for Tiggy to warp than other players. So it's generally really good. I should be using it. Some other people will use it as well as Ramarl, especially if you weapon swap a lot. So for example, if you like shoot your Vulcans and then you switch to like charge Barans or equivalency, and then you switch back to Vulcans and your bullets do really weird things, stealth armor will, or stealth suit will avoid that. So on top of having very minor time saves over warps, it stops that weapon swap issue. I technically should run it on HuCast because I do swap a lot, but it's fine. Yeah, like if you feel the bullets are coming from like places you can't understand, that's because you're not using stealth suit. It's one of those things where the game will try to load the bullets from where you last fired and shoot from there to hit the target, which can cause some really weird things to happen. Enemy is so lucky I picked up an item instead of comboing there. So lucky. That Dorphon actually died instantly. So it's just one of those things where I don't know. It has really high evasion, but people only really care about the quick swaps. Any utility is a bonus. There you go, Tiggy. To be fair, like, Rangers don't have, like, a ton of armors they would consider. It'd be, like, what, Lieutenant Mantle, Sacred Cloth to save them a unit. Honestly, about it. Oh, Ramars and Ramarls are pretty open. Like, they could, in theory, wear stuff like 13 if they want to. But honestly, their armor is, like, so freeform. You can just wear, like, Flame Garment and stuff like that. It really doesn't matter. Whereas, like, HuCast and, like, Rocket Seal have, like, locked-in abilities. Like, you generally want to be running V-parts. I'm wearing 13 since I use Disca. Stuff like that. That kill speed, that's insane. I'm so sad those lizards are blocking my bullets. What trolls. Damage though, so good. Yeah, Kantalope was used too early there. Look how far apart they are. Does it simple before? Don't spam Gafoe. Wait until literally the Astark dies. If you feel like there is no rush to press it, because if you hit it too early, they're like really far apart. That makes it harder for like Rangers to like arrest Needle and Nita to like disca them. So, like, we can work with it if it happens, but it can lead to some bad stuff with players. So if I wasn't level 194 and Tiki wasn't 200, we would be so screwed. Like, we would get absolutely steamrolled, but because we are, it's like, we'll live with it. fine. Just be aware, though. Yeah, I mean, I played a lot of Steam games that I enjoy. It's just... It's not going to be anything from, like, even anything remotely first party. I haven't enjoyed a game from major systems almost a decade at this point. Like, you will probably not see me play many, if any, Square Enix games. You will never see me play Ubisoft games. I will never play stuff from stuff like Blizzard. I just, there's so many companies where I'm like, nah. Not in a million years would I consider streaming it. I'm not into Persona at all. But don't expect to see that series either. The last thing I really want to do is like a high school dating simulator thing. I'm like, I don't care. Just don't put this in my game. Like, I'll give you social links. No, thank you. So don't expect any of those. I would, like, maybe consider, like, a Devil Survivor from Atlas, because I do like Atlas. I just don't enjoy, like, those specific games in particular. I'm not looking to play, like, a high school student. Oh, no, I'm the first person in the room. But you know what? I fire trapped. You know what? That was a great adaptation for me. Deserve a reward there. I actually didn't get hit by the zoos. That was the more impressive thing. I walked in, went, oh no, and then fixed it. I'm not a Fire Emblem enjoyer. I'm like, that kind of stuff, I'm like, nah. I'm like, listen, you could take your 10,000-year-old lolly dragon girls and just keep them in your games. I don't want to play those characters. I don't care. Final Fantasy Tactics was fun. I think I gave up on Fire Emblem somewhere between Awakening and Conquest, I want to say. I was like, yeah, this is just not appealing to me as the game series. I think I'm done. I mean, like, weird stuff with Tharja and the hilariously evil villain that you side with for some reason in Conquest. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I can't identify with these characters at all. They're just both too weird and too stupid. I can't handle both. This is too much for me. If I have to sit through like Kellen's dialogue one more time of, oh, I'm so forgettable. Nobody will remember me. I'm like, get your one-note ass out of my face. It's just, like, I'm so done. Especially someone that played like the Maniac mode or whatever it's called, the enhanced difficulty. I'm like, if I have to reset this one more time to deal with your stupid random passives that make it literally unwinnable if the character that can kill the knight gets first strike vantage BS, I'm like, get that out of my face. I'm just like, no thank you. Like, the fact that that was all RNG, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna beat this just to say that I beat it, and I'm never touching this again. I'm so over that. There's not a single endearing quality about that to me. I'm like, no thank you. Never again. It took like 12 resets or 15 resets, and it was purely just because, like, I did try to win without resetting once, and I was like, this is actually genuinely unwinnable. Cool. I can't do anything. Age of Empire 2, that's okay. I'm not really a big fan of RTS. The only RTS I'll genuinely play on stream is Kessen 2. I think that is my favorite RTS of all time, no contest. Oh, I got slapped. I have a ton of freeze traps here. I guess I could go wild here. Did I play for the king? I don't know what that means. Played Age of Empires 2 very casually, so I genuinely don't know what that means. Or the king is the game? No, I've not played it then. If it's an RTS, I've never touched it. Is this... RTSs for me were like early, very early 2000s, and I've not really played them since. I've just learned that I'm not good at them, so I don't bother. I played like Red Alert, stuff like that. I played a lot of what would be considered classics. Age of Empires 2. I think the most recent one I would have played would have been like Age of Mythology. But I've like not touched those in a very long time. So for me, I'm not looking to touch RTSs. Well, actually, that's not true. There's one other RTS that I did like. It was Sands of Salzahar. We might play that on stream at some point. I think my goal was to play it like last year. I just never got around to it. I actually set it up so that I could play it on a controller. Since it's not like army management, but it is RTS in some extent. Kind of a... I like to think of it more as like a top-down Mountain Blade. So like there is like army management and you have to deal with siege battles, but it's mostly just like top-down. Tales is okay. Tales is very hit or miss. There are some I really like and some I genuinely don't like at all. They're potentially very fun multiplayer games, but man oh man, some of the plots of those games are like ultra stupid. They don't respect my time. Which ones don't I like? Oh, I got bodied there. Fantasia, Tales of Destiny 2, Symphonia. Zestiria I like ironically, but that game is also pretty terrible. That game is like an unintentional comedic masterpiece. I refuse to see that as anything else other than just a giant troll. Symphonia to me is kind of the epitome of things I don't like in video games. I don't really want to play RPG number 9642 that involves going to all the elemental temples and summoning stuff. And the fact that Fantasia was already like that, and that was the predecessor / in the same universe as that game, was like, you know what? This makes so much sense to me. I was like, I didn't like it in I didn't like it on the NES and Final Fantasy 1. Why would I want to play a modern version of it? It's like, I didn't like the grandfather of this particular thing. Why would I want to play a game like this again? So unfortunately, I'm just bored of going to Elemental Temple number 5,600,000. I'm just like, hard pass, don't care. So for me, that's where the series will kind of turn me off, unfortunately. I tried to write the cutscene. Yeah, it's just very lazy and very boring. It's just, I just don't enjoy, you know, sometimes it's 4 temples, sometimes it's 8 temples. That's like the only mix-up you get. No worries, man. Hope you had a good time. Oh, I got a Galatine. That's exciting. It rolled pretty terribly, but I will take my Galatine. Yoink. Nice. A couple of people got Galatine. Charge just go with 45 hit. Oh, so close. So close. Yeah, I'm only gonna get 15 native max. a little sad, but I think it's better than all zeros. Might end up being a lizard killer or something later. It's just one of those things where, like, I'll enjoy, like, a Shadow Hearts or some very quirky games over, like, a lot of kind of action-y games. In terms of, like, I am addicted to the combat mechanics of a game. I think Onimusha Dawn of Dreams will be one of my favorite games of all time, period. I don't think that will ever change. In terms of RTS, Kessen 2, no contest, not even close. There is not a single RTS I've played that is like that game, and it will be immortalized forever for me. I liked it so much that even though we have done pretty much only action RPGs on stream, we did play that on stream. I even did the hard mode completion, blind on stream. I've never played the hard mode of that game before, to the end at least. So that was fun. We had pretty much a flawless victory all the way through in our first playthrough. Ironically, the only time I had to replay was when I was winning so hard. I learned for the first time ever while playing that game that there was a time limit. I lost due to a time limit. I'm like, wait. I'm like, wait, there's a time limit in this game? I didn't even know. Oops. I would have just beat the game earlier if I realized that. My bad. So is there a fourth person that would like to join us tonight? We'll wait a couple minutes. But yeah, Tails is very hit or miss. It's one of those things where I love Visceria. Zestiria is like one of those... I would genuinely watch a documentary on that train wreck of a game. That game was like one of the most disappointing games, and it became so bad at certain points that I genuinely thought it was like a giant prank, and I found the game very funny. Like, it's not one of those things where it did not intend to be funny, but it was very funny. Like, if you put together, like, what is the worst series of game mechanics you can ever put in a dungeon? How would you troll a player? The game has it all. I think my favorite line of dialogue in that game is where they go, "Oh no, we gotta go investigate the Pope. He could be doing some bad things." And they have like this 4.5-minute conversation about why it would be bad to cause a diplomatic incident. And then the immediate next scene, they kill the Pope. It is the funniest thing. It is the absolute funniest thing. I was like dying. They're like, "Oh no, guys, we can't cause an incident. Let's go investigate him." And it's just like, in the span of 2 minutes from that conversation, you killed the Pope. And I'm like, you got to be trolling. I'm like, this is a big troll, right? This is an April Fool's prank. There's no way they wrote this dialogue. They made this the literal next plot point. Oh man, the water dungeon in that game was like the stuff of nightmares. They had like a tile-based puzzle avoidance mechanic where if you were spotted by an eye, it would teleport you back to the beginning of the dungeon. By the beginning of the dungeon, I would like to say. But then on top of that, it's not a tile-based movement game, so there was like ultra jank, and the mechanic you needed to do to bypass them was also really finicky, and it was hilariously terrible. I said to the stream when we played it, I'm like, listen, if I get through this dungeon in one try, it would be a miracle. This stuff is jank. I mean, there's literally at one point you enter a room, and if you don't immediately stealth, there's an off-screen camera above the doorway you can't see that will teleport you back to the beginning of the dungeon. It is like the trolliest thing you've ever seen. Which is like, I'm like, bravo, this is so terribly constructed. Someone hated the player. This is only coming from a player spite standpoint. There is no way somebody did this and thought this was a fair mechanic. There's no way. I don't believe it. I'm like, this game is actually just a very extended, like, April Fool's prank. It's okay. Alright, so is anybody joining us for the fourth player? Plus, we have a few sound clips from that game, like Keep On Keeping On, which was also incredibly unintentionally funny during a death cutscene. That was one of my favorite parts. Keep on keeping on. I'm like, listen, no. You can't end your serious cutscene with that. Like, you can't hit me with that. I'm not prepared for it. Okay, what kind of whack soundtrack is including the cutscenes of Dynasty Warrior 6? Whoever composed this playlist, they're fired. I'm skipping whatever that is. Madness. Okay, so if we're down a player, we could switch up to new Mappa 4, maybe? This seems like we'll not get another player here, sadly. I'm willing to go like another hour or so. So if there's anybody that was looking to hop in, I'm not sure if Mr. Demonic is still here, for example. We have a free slot for you. So I figured I'll give another minute or so if people are slightly away from keyboard. But yeah, or oh, my other favorite one that tilts me off the face of the planet is Tales of Destiny 2 with like the dumbest plot points of all time. You will probably still find clips on my channel of me freaking out of how stupid the plot was. My brain actually could not handle it. It was so stupid. It's one of those things where they tried to write an intelligent character, but realized they don't know how to make a character smart. So they decided the easier thing to do was to make everybody so exceptionally, stupidly, terribly dumb to justify just a modicum of intelligence as being considered a genius. So you have like really, really wonderfully awful lines of like, there's a character that has been dedicating their life to becoming a pirate, and they have this like mystery puzzle in front of them that they haven't been able to figure out for 7 years. And then the puzzle is, it's just coordinates on a map. They didn't know what coordinates were as a sailor, as a pirate. And I'm like, I can't process this plot point. This plot point is so stupid. I'm like, 7 days is a bit much. 7 weeks is like unreasonable. 7 years, I can't. You can't just throw this at me and expect me to accept this. This is too stupid. How did this character get around on a ship? They have a sextant. This isn't like forbidden technology. How do they not know what coordinates are? I don't know. My brain exploded. Or the wonderful line of, I know we betrayed you, but... Because like, I was like, listen, if you started a conversation like that, it's over. You're dead. It's just like, it's over. That dialogue was very special. Alright, so it might just be the 3 of us for now. I don't see anybody else joining in. I don't see anybody else in the chat that's free. I don't know what to tell Shiva. I'm like, hey, I'm up at 1 a.m. I don't see other people here. We'll have to figure out when Shiva's actually free to play with. Because we normally play like 7:30 to 11:30. One day we'll play with Shiva. I could switch to potentially Green ID. I'm just thinking what would be fun with 3 players. Christmas Fiasco is a bit rough. That's one of those quests I don't recommend doing less than 4. I guess if the team really wanted, we could do a couple TTFs to end off the stream if we don't see people. I'm totally okay with just YOLOing Red Ring or something. I'm just trying to think of something that doesn't require 4 people. Yeah, we could just YOLO TTF, honestly. I can host this Sky ID, I guess. Doesn't really matter. So we'll do like 2 or 3 runs, and then I'll call it quits if we don't have a 4th player by then. Yeah, HuCast is exceptionally good at hard carrying like any boss run. But I'm like, I don't feel like doing episode 2 boss. Even with like super rare boosts, I'm like, I don't think I could do RT. If we had a 4th player, I'd be more willing to do like MA1C or Xrd, but like, no, if we're down players, TTF is definitely the easier of the options. It's not as rewarding, So we'll keep it short and simple. Yeah. And it's fine. If we only go for like another 20-30 minutes, that's also okay. Tiggy's here to hard carry. But yeah, it's just one of those things where, I don't know, I played a lot of games in the past year or two where I was not impressed from an indie game standpoint, and that did make me kind of sad. Like, I started enjoying Secrets of Grindia, but I didn't like what the game became, kind of thing. And then, like, I played Pennyblood, which I actually liked the plot and the mechanics for it, but it just wasn't polished enough. So we ended up getting into, like, 2 separate softlocks, and I'm like, yeah, I can't really play a game with this many softlocks. They were not really hard to do, nor was I doing them intentionally. It's just kind of disappointing when we come into those kinds of scenarios. No, there were other ones where, like, the game, like, I understood why people might like it, but it didn't click for me. Like, Bastion. We played Bastion, and it was interesting, but I didn't enjoy it as much as, like, Hades 1, for example. I liked Aviary Attorney for what it was, and the Duck Detective for what it was. But overall, in terms of RPGs, like, Look Outside, I had very mixed feelings about. I really enjoyed, like, the first 3 quarters of the game, but to me, it just got, like, really overly difficult. And I don't feel like it was emblematic of my experience the rest of the game, so it's kind of disappointing for me. But we might try it again once they balance patch a couple things. Just don't feel like the new content was really well constructed. Well, I slightly hurt the boss there. And as I said before, like, I really liked, like, the first 50-60% of Secrets of Grindia, and then I was like, oh man, I really don't like this Temple Hydra boss. And then it was like, oh, I don't like any boss beyond the Temple Hydra. I feel like it got overtuned into, like, a pure bullet hell, which I don't feel like that's what the beginning of the game was like at all. Like, oh, if I realized it was gonna go into this, I wouldn't have purchased the game. Just very disappointing to me. Right, I enjoyed it more for, like, you know, parry mechanics felt rewarding. It felt, like, somewhat lenient in terms of difficulty. And then it's like, you know what, we're gonna just shake the screen a lot, and we're gonna make you deal with the Dark Room boss. And there's, like, very little leniency because everything will kill you. Like, oh. Not a fan of that. I guess if Tiggy wants to slime dupe, by all means, I'll clear this up. Get those presents, Tiggy. Will I be able to Jaya without dying? Let's find out. Is this the strat to be done ASAP all the time? Yes. So I feel like people that run it don't take the time to kill the enemies, which to me doesn't make a lot of sense during event week. So, like, for example, when we come up to, like, the room of the lilies, the Phonuman should honestly just kill all the lilies. Like, as long as one player is successfully reaching the room that will spawn the enemy that makes the shortcut. Oh, I got a photon drop there, nice. As long as one player is successfully entering the room that is needed to skip to the end of the area, every other player should just be thinking about, like, what can I do to just get free kills on the way through? And I feel like a lot of public games get, like, hyper-focused. There's, like, 4 people waiting in the middle room. And I'm like, why? I'm like, do you not just want to have another 15, 20 PD checks in the run? So it is what it is. So I'll try to make a comment if I see it when we're playing with people. It's kind of like this room. Like, the Phone-Human could just kill all these cannabins. So, like, if Tiggy, for example, has, like, Cannon Rouge, we technically don't have to participate in the other rooms at all. I will go help Tiggy under the assumption that Tiggy will not be doing the Cannon Rouge strat. But, like, the Force could just kill those cannabins. Like, what are they gonna do? They're just gonna wait in this room and be all, like, dumb, waiting for Sinnoh Red? I don't think so. Right, that Sinnoh's ultra dead, by the way. Here's my little fun single-player strat. I don't even freeze trap this, by the way. I actually confuse trap. The reason I confuse trap here, look at that free kill. Look, 2 free kills. I didn't even try. Alright, let's see. Oh, Tiggy's going for a freeze trap? Okay, good. Keep going, Tiggy. I'll kill the brands. Or not. I'll miss my freeze trap. I'm gonna leave room because I missed my shot there. I'll go kill them now. The Tiggy already cleared, so we could take Tiggy's work. But since we're Sky ID, I'll get this incested here. So, like, I didn't have to do what I was doing. I'm being very greedy for checks. I could have waited. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it just depends on, like, what you're doing in terms of, like, where to save time and get free kills. So, like, now that I know Tiggy's going for Cannon Rouge strat, I'll still probably try to kill the Garans, because it's free Sincesta checks. But, like, Tiggy will not have to, like, sit there and kill the Garans. So, if I mess something up, it doesn't matter, because Tiggy's doing the real strat. Oh, we actually didn't talk about who's stunlocking the boss here. I'm just gonna win, please. See how that goes. I'm gonna insta-kill that red turret. That's the plus side of being UCast here. I'll throw a couple of fireballs to delay them here. I'll be cute about it to give the ranger more time. And I'll fireball the next area just to slow it down. Nicely done, team. So, Gafoi from Twin Blaze actually applies my ATP damage to the Volt Op if those of you that are watching are not aware of the Volt Op ATP glitch. It's very funny. Might die here. GG me. Yeah. Damage is just like slightly too low. So this is where we would need like the Phone-Human to have ATP to avoid that issue. I don't think there's anything else I could have done differently there. I was already using Disco Braveman with Machine %. I don't think I could get that much more optimized. I need to get shifted eventually. I can walk up and freeze trap here. Walk over here, shoot them if I want to, get a couple kills. I'm gonna go for the fast strat. Wish me luck. Here's the fast strat. Pause. Don't get hit by this character immediately. Awesome. I can get the fast strat. Goodbye. Fast strat. Anyway, I'm done. Fast strat. See this, Arlen? Goodbye. You're fighting a UCast. You're not surviving this. Fast strat. I'm gonna put a telepipe down for people that want to come to me. Make their life easy. Oh no. Oh no. Team's walking towards me. Rip. Rip Scapedoll. Trap I've been falling into, and I don't want to fall behind while playing with people, so I feel like if we Mega Gear just gets at this point thing. I mean, like, you're talking about Mega Gear. I'm using, like, Charge Vulcan and Charge Ray Gun. It really just depends on what character you're playing as to like how much your gear is. Like you could do what I'm doing with like 8 PDs. You just have to be higher level. And I think that's like kind of a problem people just don't realize. It's like I'm sitting with like 1639 ATP. Like, do you think I need to sphere anything to kill anything as UCast? Hell no, chat. I'll do anything with UCast. UCast is like the freest character for TTF. So if you're playing as like Raw Marl and then you're wondering why you're like 130, 150 Raw Marl is not able to do anything, I'm like, well, I have like 500 ATP on you. So unless you're like genuinely running like all spirit items, you're not going to do this much damage. Yeah, like forces are not going to be able to like hard carry that. The most you'd be able to do is like hold Galatine or Excal to speed things up a little. Like here's an example where my 60 hit matters. So I'm going to go for like crazy fast kill strats on Dark Balls here with Sacrifice. So the 10% hit there actually makes a big difference. That's probably the only point in this run where my high hit Vice matters over the other options. Otherwise, it's just like, just walk over here, let the boss do whatever it wants, walk in, punish the boss, get hit by somebody lining up with me. That's so sad. I'm in danger. Oh, that was the worst possible thing that could happen. That was the best possible thing that could happen. Goodbye, boss. So, like, a lot of it is just, like, your gear requirement really depends on what character class you're playing. So, like, forces only genuinely need to stun lock if there's not a ranger backup to it. Like, technically, forces can run this without ever having it, and it's fine. Slightly too slow there, hesitated. Like, I'm using just a 50 hit charge ray gun here. Like, there is nothing crazy about the gear I'm using to hit this boss right now. You want to short cycle me? Punk. I'm down here. I'm gonna murder you. This is where, like, a force could stack a foe-y. So go ahead, take your swing. Alright, whoever just got soul linked, I'm so sorry. You are ultra dead, by the way. Sorry, Tiggy. I'm just like, my priority to delete that boss is so high. Please foe me this boss. Alright, there we go. It's like, I'm so sorry, Tiggy. I'm not sitting through another cycle with this boss. I'm gonna delete this boss. If it soul linked me, I would have gone down with the ship. I know. I'm sorry, Tiggy. I stopped your level 200 character from receiving XP. I'm so sorry. Oh, man. I did not receive anything, rip. So, I mean, like, again, like, there's certain character classes that can get away with low gear, and that's where, like, the nuance of experience comes in. So, like, you need very little gear in Episode 4 as a force to conquer it. You need very little gear as a HuCast to beat Episode 1. You need a lot of gear to do well in Episode 2, unless you're playing support force. But even then, they're not, like, the ideal character in most runs. So, like, a lot of that is just kind of figuring out your role and position in a party. And some people have the gear that they need a force, some people don't need a force. So, it could be kind of tricky to balance it out. Up to 29 photon drop. Okay. Also, I could just put away the Centurion if the character doesn't need it. Just feel like you need everything? No, you don't. You're overthinking it as the force. I'm gonna tell you right now, ATP beat stick, nothing else. Just like, you could go in, you don't need Gaffoe merge, you don't need Rafoe merge. 3 Seals Glide Divine is my little cheat sheet to surviving falls. So if you want to do that to survive, like, being less than 150, by all means. But, like, As long as you're Zaloring the boss, I don't really care as it runs. Like, honestly, like, what is it, like, what is a Phonumen going to do in, like, caves, mines, and ruins? The answer is pretty much nothing. It's not, like, an offense, because Phonumen is a great class, but, like, are they really gonna outkill, like, a Tiggy with the Barans or me with a Vulcan? Tiggy says my only real issue is newer, lesser experienced players, and when someone more knowledgeable tells them to do something. Yeah, it's just kind of like, you know, Chips is sitting here at 884 HP. Do I care at all? Nope, because he's Zaloring. Just like, I'm good. I'm like, thumbs up. He did the only thing I care about in this whole run. He doesn't even have to hit me with D-band. I don't even care. Literally sitting here at like 100 health anyway. Who cares? Yeah, no weapon is okay, but you'll find like if you're having trouble surviving falls, it's because you're not running 3 Seals Glide Divine. But like that's something you're not gonna know unless you have more experience with the game. So for all those like 130, 140 force players that are like, man, I die every time to boss, and I'm like, well, did you try raising your resistances? Are you running heavenly HP? It's not like your damage matters at all in the boss phase. I mean, if you have Club of Laconium and you can Foe, great. So, like, that would be my only thing, is a lot of people just don't bother slotting Foe versus the final phase, and you do miss out some easy kills that way. But, like, you have to think of it this way, because Glide Divine adds resistances, 3 Seals is 33 to resist, Ignition Cloak or Congeal Cloak are both really good armors for resistances in order to just make yourself immune to falls. So if you have those, it's just GG. And you're talking about all these weapons, the only weapons you need for the TTF is Glide Divine. I hope you heard the lack of me saying any other weapon there. I genuinely, like, I guess if you're stun locking, you need X-Scout or Galatine, I guess, question mark. But, like, do I genuinely think that you as a force are ever going to kill any of these caves enemies? No. Do I need you to? No. So, again, it's just, like, it just depends on who you're playing with. So if you're playing with, like, level 100 people or 90... then it's like, well, no duh, you're not having a good time. Like, none of you are remotely close to max ATP. This is a quest that is, like, really fine once you go, like, 140 plus. But, like, right now, every single one of these players could just choose a room and kill enemies to split them. So, like, Tiki could kill those spawns. I'm basically just gonna kill the Lily here. So I can leave the Phonumen to kill these Vulmers, for example. I can even put Confuse Traps down to try to kill them sooner. So for this room, Tiggy could just leave. Like, Tiggy doesn't even have to wait for me at all. Like, just go ahead, Tiggy. Don't even fight these enemies. Go Slime Dupe and get free kills. Because we've already started the timer. Since as soon as we're here, it doesn't matter how inefficient I am. I have to wait like 12 seconds anyway, so who cares? So if the Phonumen is able to kill Lilies, great. I hope I have escaped all. I missed my advice awkwardly. Oh, I've escaped all, we're good. But, like, even dying there, it just doesn't matter. Like, right? It's gonna be like, oh no, look at... oh no, I didn't have Shifta. I still combo killed. Like, do you see what I mean? Like, isn't that wild? Like, oh no, I still combo killed. He cast broken. Doesn't matter. Man, I didn't get invincibility again. That sucks. So, like, if you ever feel like you're not geared enough for TTF, I mean, the answer is you're probably just doing it too low level. Like, it's just one of those things where, like, can you beat it at level 100? Yes. Are normal players going to beat it at 100? No. So when you come back at, like, 160, 170, 180, this quest is an absolute breeze. I think people are just coming, like, way too early. and then they just don't have like very basic items to do with Volt Up. So like as a Hugh cast, I need Disca Brave Man to kill Volt Up. I need Vice to kill majority of the enemies in between. If I have Dark Flow, I could use it on Dragon in theory, but Vice is so broken on Hugh cast that you could still just Vulcan them down, and it doesn't matter. So like the gear requirement is very extremely low if you're playing a more optimized class. I think that's where some people don't have a lot of fun with the game, because they'll be like, my first character's a Huneral, and then I'm like, I feel like I'm not able to do anything, and I'm like, well, yeah, the character's terrible until like really high level. And like the game isn't going to tell you that, but it gets frustrating seeing people play like super suboptimal classes and then just be like, I feel like I can't do anything. And I'm like, yes. That's why we write guides and stuff to be like, don't pick this character first. They can be complete blasts and totally awesome to play when you have like your Mind Mag set aside and like Heavenly Arms. But man, oh man, I'm like, please stop picking some of these characters first. They're such a bad experience. I feel like people that are like suggesting them are like on some other plane of existence that I can never hope to achieve. Yeah, like there I just got the very clear, clean brand skill. But like, how many characters can do what I just did there without being hyper optimal? Probably only Hunters. So it's like, I don't care that people play other classes. It's just more like, I feel sad when I go to like the Ephinea Discord or I go in the Ephinea forums, and there is legitimately like every month this year, there has been at least one player that is like, I am playing X class. I feel like I can't do anything. How do I get through ult? And like 90% of the time, they're Huneral. Like every single time. There's been like one time, I think somebody did that as Ramar this year. Every other time has been Huneral. And she's like a character class that like works super well at high level play, right? You can potentially have Dark Flow, you have Shift to 20, Zalor 20, and she's like really good at her niche. But like, if you don't have the items to get there, like there's nothing else you can really do. So it's like people have to realize that like, there's a reason, unfortunately, certain classes are more optimal or not. So some characters just get the shortcut needing like crazy gear. Kind of like Ramar can get away with like all zeroed items because his accuracy is so good. So it's like the experience you will have in solo play and multiplayer will vary greatly, and then who your first character will change your perspective on the game. I'm gonna get sealed here. This is fine. If the team kills here, it doesn't matter. Oh, Tiggy saved me. Never mind. Here you go. I'm gonna Twin Blaze out of respect to clear this room. Look at that pure respect right there. Yeah. Yeah, like Force, I think, is a extremely great second character, and I don't like starting them fresh first. I don't think it works very well. A lot of people are like, oh, you could do X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, or you could just do that when you have Mind Materials, and you have your Force Mag, and you have everything else, and everything is really easy. Look at that Sorcerer just get absolutely bodied. So Sorcerers have a mechanic, for example, where they have to face a Ranger in order to do anything. So because Tiggy's in the room, they're not going to look at me. So I, as a Hugh cast, have to go pretty quick in that room, actually, to get the kill. Otherwise, they'll teleport away. If I was a Ranger and did the same strat, they would actually face me, so I'd have more time to kill them. I put teleport down, by the way. So from that standpoint, it's just one of those things where you can pick up strategies every now and then, but there's just inherently some bonuses to playing certain classes over others. Walls with 35 hit, yeah, pretty much. So it's just one of those things. Like, look how fast we were here. Like, 1826. Silly timer. Silly timing. It's kind of like telling people when you first go into the Falls room that everything in here is a set pattern, and it's not actually that random. So, like, the first time you walk in, there's always going to be the same enemies that are targetable. And the only thing that makes this room complicated is how people walk in it. So if you walk the same way every quest, the spinners are not random. As far as I'm aware, they're not random after that point. Like, after that, you can lure, like, what'll be considered... I call them hunters. But the ones that heat seek on the player can be in different positions depending on how players move there. But it's just one of those things with, like, experience. It doesn't really matter that much. I drained my HP to 0. GG me. So it's like, I want to encourage people to play what they like, but players have to be informed early on that there are just certain classes where, like, if you genuinely are playing as, like, a fresh class, it is, like, night and day how much harder, easier something is. Oh, no, it's the lure rip. Ooh, Tiki didn't get knocked down. That's nice. I might survive this. Let's see. Nope. I got targeted. That sucks. I was hoping to not use a Trimate there, but I got punished. Unlucky. Oh well, I still killed the boss. I used my death to give me iframes to the other attack. So in a weird way, I don't feel like I lost any time because I just ignored an attack I'd normally have to dodge. Kind of funny. The only question is, did I get shifted? No, I said I get shifted. We're going to hover charge ray gun here. Oh, you are unlucky, boss. Eat the damage. Look at that damage. They might die to Foe here. Unironically. Oh, you're a fool, Falls. So dead. Please. I already have one of those. I just don't bother using it. See, if I don't get knocked down there, that would save me some time. So that's where I would consider using HP units on this, or HP materials on this character. If I wanted to specifically optimize Falls Run and didn't feel like wearing a Heavenly Resist, I could in theory. As I said before, I have a free slot because I'm UCast at high level. I could just run Heavenly Resist. So that way, like, fire and ice doesn't kill me, I'm immune to the EDK kill, etc, etc. 11 minutes, pretty solid. We'll do, like, one more run. I might call it quits here. With only 3 players. I'm having fun, but there's a certain point where I'm like, I should probably sleep at some point. Music is popping off, though. So I feel like stuff like TTF and things like that have like a purpose where I don't usually want to run it as 4-man necessarily over like Exert or MA1C, just because there's so many more enemies to kill. But like if we are down a player, it doesn't make sense to do like a 500 enemy quest on like high difficulty. Ooh, that 75 Dark Laser is a heartbreaker. Rip Chips. Mr. Demonic is on. Go a little longer then. Although I think Chips will need to sleep this at some point. Sure, we'll do at least one more TTF. After that, we'll see how the group feels. For me, it's also getting kind of late. Tiggy says after this TTF I'm outie. I might be out then too. We'll enjoy one more TTF. Or I guess we're a 4-man squad. I guess we could in theory Exerd. Or MA1C. Yeah, let's MA1C. Yeah, it is 1:30 for me. I'll host as Viridia. Give me a minute. I figure since we're playing 4 people, we might as well as try to get more presents. I thought about Exerd, but I'm like, eh. I don't even recall me getting a present in the last hour. I got one in the last hour. I haven't been getting more than like 1 every 2 hours, but yeah. I got, I think 3 PDs or something from it. So if anybody's purple ID, please go second player. I haven't been paying attention to IDs. On the off chance we see Mill Lily. Might as well YOLO the Mill Lily. Yeah. Hopefully go grab a Baran's that's in the inventory here, or else I'm gonna be very sad in a moment. I don't have all my Baran's, but I have a Baran's. Okay, could be worse. I could live with that. I just don't have a Dark Baran's. I have to move these techniques over. They're filling up my inventory. What do you hit Baran? I mean, it's pretty easy to get to 50. Play more very hard mode. I think my other Barans are on the Rawcast, but I don't think it's worth me swapping over. The only thing I have to remember is when I get to the upper area, I'll switch over to probably just 7 striker kills with Dark Percent. Oh no. Well, Tiggy, if you need help with photon crystals, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, Tiggy. It says 4 here, but I want you to be aware, I'm sitting on 200. So if you really need photon crystals, Tiggy, we can figure something out. Yeah, I'm sitting on 2 different stacks of 99, plus you have to think my Force account, which already has like 40 photon crystals, is also just sitting there and existing. So if people really want it, I don't mind giving them photon crystals until they win, as long as they just pay for it. So you don't have to buy more than what you need. So that offer is still on the table for everybody that is in chat. Don't feel like extending that to the general Ephinea Discord. Oh, that's right, Tiggy's here. I don't have to do that. I'm gonna believe in Tiggy. Yeah, I have enough Barans that I can basically just leave a couple on a Rawcast and it doesn't matter. Who knows? Maybe we'll get another V101. That'd be funny. I think this quest is like borderline whether or not I'd run it during an event, seriously. I'm just doing it because we're like at the end of the stream. But it's one of those things where go either way. Is Baran's worth it without attributes? I would say it's not worth it until it's at least 40 hit. It is stronger than like Charge Arm, so that matters more for like Rockaseel. Fire Trap there. Yeah, I'm aware. You don't really need it to be super strong. All you really need is hit percentage. Poor human character's gonna paralyze. You've been deep diving because of me into what? Just what weapons to use? I mean, it doesn't take very much to just put like Dark Percent on it, and it would be like instantly worth it. Oh, you gotta have the addiction? Oh no. Yeah, I don't like it. It's like the Baran's is kind of the you can get charge arms on your own kind of thing. The moment you put like any attribute percent in, it's pretty much better than charge arm. The way I view it is it's not even like the difference of like the damage it can deal. It's more like what a hunter can do in a run for Baran's versus the charge arm is pretty big. Oh, I have an SJS, I just haven't unsealed. I guess I could unseal it at some point. I have not been in a rush to do it. I thought about if I wanted to leave it as is instead of hit percentage, but it rolled kind of low on hit. I might just unseal it just for the sake of it. So here's where whoever has the most dark resistance should go the other path. So ideally, if we have a force with like 70 EDK, they would go south and the other players would go east here. I don't know if anybody's actually immune to death. I have terrible EDKs. I'm a female character. Again, talking about the natural, unfortunate disadvantage I have. Where if I was like a male rawcast, I would have a dress plate, for example, and just be immune. Does anybody actually have immunity here? I definitely don't. I can't do it with 30 EDK. Yeah, 20 is not good enough. Is anybody at like 65? You don't need a lot to like conquer it. Okay. Alright, then what the team can do is at least check to see if the lilies spawn. Yeah, if Tiggy's feeling confident, you could go forward. But this is where, like, if we were being, like, super serious with the run, we would be like, okay, who's the Faux Newman sitting around with 3 Seals Glide Divine? Because 3 Seals Glide Divine puts you at almost the required EDK. So after that, it's just about equipping, like, a single resist devil. So, like, for future reference, if you are playing, like, a force, it is really, really easy to hit the required EDK, because it's sub 70 EDK. So with 3 Seals giving you 33, Glide Divine I think giving you 15, that's a 48 resist. I don't know where everybody else is. Can somebody please join me? I should not be soloing this room. Only one player should be going the other route, please. I need assistance, or I'm going to be here forever. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I will clear this eventually, but it's going to take so much longer. Yeah, I can see people dying over there. Alright, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put down a telepipe, and presumably one other player will join me at some point. My Shifta is almost gone. There we go. I don't need that much assistance, but at least one other player is fine. The other route is very short. It's one of those things where, like, we genuinely don't need 3 people that way. I just felt on go. Yeah, the reason we split here for Clarity Team is that if you're immune to the death attack of the other side, Breastplate is just pretty much free value. You could kill 3 sets of lilies into Nano Dragon, and then you're fine. Otherwise, the other like main team can go over here and just insta-kill all the slimes. But, like, if I just walk in a circle here and Fire Trap as a cast, I'm gonna get all these free kills. The other team doesn't need to worry about anything, so I'm just gonna put them in the cardinal directions here to kill. Goodbye, slime. And I'm gonna walk around in a circle and kill all the slimes again. You can slime dupe if you want. I'm just gonna kill every slime in the room, don't mind me. Don't mind me. Not a bad way if you had Redria to check for Lava Cannon. Here we go. Tiggy's on Nano Dragons. Tiggy's almost caught up to us. Means he's on the final wave. He just has to walk through the hallway. Oh, he's already in this room. Never mind. Wrong Nano Dragon. My bad. Anyway, we can reshift to Tiggy now. We should be good. So the split there is just like we're able to just kind of check more enemies at once, which is kind of nice about MA1C. So if you have less players, you could skip doing that route, but it is kind of worth it. Thank you, Tiggy, for making the other clear. So if at any point we saw Mill Lily, I would have dropped out, and then player 2 would have given a chance at cycle 1. Otherwise, we'll get a decent amount of chances of V101, and technically we have hyper off-chance Heaven Punisher in this run. I like that spawn. Spawn's cute. But look at all these enemies on the side, and I'm like, no thanks. Nice try. And Baran's is so good here. Yeah, like, look how easy this is with, like, casts here. So brain dead easy. So for people that have not played this quest, I'm going to remind you that there are timeout rooms. So the Force goes in the timeout room. If you're ever not sure what people should be doing, Forces go in the timeout room. So there's going to be a room coming up where every other player can remain in the middle of the room, and the Force will go to their little designated area of punishment. So what'll happen is in mines, they go into an empty room and everybody else gets ambushed with Sinnohs. You'll understand when you see it. I'll just remind you when the timeout room is coming. Ruins, if you recall the Falls rooms, where there's basically 2 other doors and then the actual Falls entrance, those are the timeout rooms for the Force in Ruins. If you don't know what that means, you'll understand. So just be aware if at any point it looks like this map is taking you somewhere that is not continuing onwards, it's probably a timeout room for the Force. I don't know why they make you stand in an empty room and think about what you did, but it is what it is. So for example, in this room, the right door is progress, the left room is timeout. So at some point, the Force will need to go to the upper left. They don't need to rush there immediately, we'll be slowly making our way forward. I'll let the Force go in the timeout room. I think there's like a Baran's here first. After this Baran's, we'll need the Force to go to the upper left. Every other player can stand in the middle, roughly where I'm at. We're gonna deal with all the Sinnohs. Here they come. Nope. So you can't trick me, I'm waving my finger. I already know about the timeout room, it's over. Your sorcery doesn't work here. I'm only at 4 freeze traps, which is kind of low. I gotta be careful here. Oh, sorry. The Force can leave as soon as the other spawn comes in. I forgot to say, you can leave the timeout room. You're good. We basically just, it's kind of like the MA4Bs, where somebody just needs to, like, awkwardly trigger the next wave. Oh, it's fine. So here's the deal. There's gonna be 2 awkward pauses in this room where you're gonna think the game is glitched and it's not spawning enemies. That'll be your cue that the first time that happens, we're gonna be fighting Sinnohs. The second time that happens, the team needs to pick a cardinal direction and kill everything. Now, the Force can stand in the center of the room both times to deal with Baran's. So we'll rely off of Chips using Razond on the second wave. This awkward pause, I think that's coming up here. I think they spawn in the northeast, if I remember correctly. They take a while to land. Just wait a little bit, enjoy life, think about, you know, what you gotta do for tomorrow. Then you gotta kill the Sinnohs. Yeah, I'm gonna stand over here. My character's dead. Split this. So the next time we have one of those, that's where everybody picks a fun direction. So they're gonna spawn at north, south, east, west, Baran's. Oh, Newman can just easily zap them with Razond and Stunlock. Otherwise, we'll continue doing our normal things here. We have a lot of time to set up, so if we accidentally go the same way, it really doesn't matter. I killed one Baran's. Got one more Sinnoh to deal with. Pick a cardinal. I'm gonna go south, I guess. The force will stay in the middle and just zap. Just don't pick the same cardinal and you should be fine. Again, this one takes forever. This is the one where I'm like, is the game broken? This is the way the quest is for whatever reason. I'm gonna switch to Yashminikov here so I can snipe multiple directions. It feels pretty powerful. One of the few times I think Yashminikov is actually just like genuinely so good. The people who don't have a clear kill there, it should be fine. Huh. So far, so good. Oh no, we only have 16 minutes to clear. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it has rifle range. It has very high base ATP for a Vulcan as well. I'm gonna stand over here so the team doesn't just get bodied. The goal is to make sure people can enter the room and not die if you're first in the room. So don't stand in a way that they have to stand in order to enter the room. So don't like wait in the doorway, for example. Sadly I don't have a good Barans here. So I'm just doing normal Barans damage. It's still really good, don't get me wrong, but it's not... My Dark one is on the other character, sadly. Yeah, but it can be strapped down. I'm gonna deal with it. And these enemies are absolutely melting. Let's try though, Darkbringer. I'm gonna say rare moment of streamer actually bothering to use Frozen Shooter. I think it's the first time like in 3 weeks I've bothered to actually genuinely use Frozen Shooter. Just don't usually care. Why freeze things when you can combo kill them instantly? So we're coming up to our favorite timeout area. So the goal is to slowly go to the right. So if you've not played the quest before, we're gonna kill a couple groups here, and then we have to go to the right. So if you ever feel like you're not sure where to go, once we kill these gunners, we're gonna rotate what would be, I guess, south on the mini-map. And then the force will slowly prepare themselves to go into timeout. So once timeout is finished, we will go ahead and group up here. So I'm gonna spread out a little bit so we don't stack. Still got hit there, that sucked. Alright, so force is just gonna make their way to the timeout door. We're basically just gonna hold the fort for a bit. Don't like how close I am to the enemies. We have one. Oh, I'm in trouble. I'm in danger. I don't have enough freeze to do this. Alright, force goes on the timeout door. Everybody else stays out here. Yeah. Alright. So our deal is we will stay here until we see a wave of claws. If you're trying to figure out when to rotate, everybody stays here until you see the claws. Once you see that, I'm gonna go as far north as I can. The rest of the team can spread out between the southeast and northeast corner. This is gonna be problem enemy, so we're gonna just go wait here until we see claws. Once we see claws, that's our cue to just move on. The Phonuman can kill the claws, we'll walk away. Because a lot of people walk away too early, like after this wave, and then they just can't do anything. It feels terrible. Okay, so far so good. I think we're coming up to the claw wave, so again, we're just gonna collectively nope as soon as you see the claws. I'll go north, Tiki can handle southeast. Okay, I'm out of here. Good luck, Force. I'm gonna stay up here, Tiki could be down there. It's basically gonna be like, it's either Indie Belrose and Chaos Springers or some annoying combo of things. But either way, as long as you have a freeze trap down, it shouldn't be too bad. And then your goal is to slowly rotate over to me. You don't need to be like super fast about it, but just be aware you need to eventually come up here. Oh, why am I dodging? I have invincibility. I'm being silly. So I think we're coming up to an early timeout for the Force. So as soon as the Force gets here, they can pretty much go straight to the door. They don't even have to participate in this fight. I think as soon as this enemy is dead, they need to go through there. Yeah, just walk preemptively to the door, please. Yeah, keep going, keep going. There you go. Look at that. Look at that time save. Alright, so as soon as the Force spawns the next wave, they can come out. They've done their time in the room. They've repented. And then our goal is to stay here until... I don't know. I don't know what wave we have to stay here for. We're going to stay here for a little bit. Eventually, we're going to end up at 2 Chaos Bringers on each side of the room near the Falls door. But we got a little bit of time. I think there's one wave that'll pull us back towards the right way. Yeah, okay. So now what'll happen, I'm going to go the furthest distance so the team doesn't have to do this walk. Everybody else can stay grouped together if they want down there. So fun fact, the Chaos Bringers are so glitched in this quest that they can't leave the wall. So like if you just walk into like not quite melee range, they can't charge you. So like I'll hope to showcase it here so the team can see what I'm talking about. So once they kill this Delty, let's look at the Chaos Bringer here. See that one against the wall there? He can't do anything. Look at him do his little trots. He can't reach any. He can't reach me. Look at this. Look how free this is. Easy. Once you know you can do that, it's easy. Unfortunately, I got hit backwards out of range, but you know how it goes. It's so easy, though. It is unfortunate when you get meleeed by an enemy out of position. I was like on the cusp of not being out of range. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. I still have escape though. I have Evan Striker, right? Okay, good. So I'm sitting at 2,000 health, which is absolutely hilarious for Falls, by the way. I'm gonna say good luck, Falls. Good luck killing this character, Falls. HP total equals dumb. Again, you're gonna notice the same kind of enemies are vulnerable in a row. I like to always go right here. I've just learned how to maneuver over here to basically never get hit. The only time I'll get hit is if other players walk towards me. So it'll bring their spinners to me, and I'm not used to their patterns. Kind of like how I started walking away from the other players. There are 2 people on my side. RIP. Is what it is. I basically want to stand really far away from other players if I can. Like right now it should be fine. I have a manageable pattern. I'm not going to heal yet. So I'm going to stay around the northern part of the map. This should be fine. Perfect. So the Force will basically focus on Gapoli to kill the spinners. If they have Glide Divine pre-seals, they can tank the boss. Otherwise, everybody else can just focus on their best single target damage that they have. I think in this instance, I can switch to just Striker if I want to. Got a 94% chance to land this special. It's not too bad. Although I just whipped it. So that 94% lied to me, chat. I failed 2 94s in a row. I think that should be a record of terrible luck next game for Shiyu. Anyway, if we see the boss doing shenanigans, I'm gonna switch over to Yashmenikov. We need a Zalur here if you can. Please Zalur. Thank you. I was gonna say, my health total doesn't matter. I'm gonna go to 0. I'm like, you don't have to heal me, it's fine. I'm a cast. I've already designated my life total as either at full or 0. There's no in between. Anyway, since I have Heaven Striker out, I'm gonna normal heavy both these times. I could special here, but I'm out of range by default. I'm gonna hover Yashmenikov, but never mind, I don't need to. Heaven Striker time. Ooh, we're so close. Dare you to... Oh, you were so lucky you didn't do another pattern. Boss is done, by the way. I'm gonna equip Yashmenikov. Oh! That's awkward. That was the worst possible things that can happen. That's fine. So if a player dies, the boss comes down earlier than normal, meaning the boss comes down invincible. So you can't punish the boss between phases, but that's okay. It only had 700 health on the health links, so we didn't have to worry about too much there. Rip Chips. Chips got murdered. Any funny last-minute red ring before we end the stream? I guess by the lack of excitement, the answer is no. When did the boss even drop? Timemate? Okay. It's for you, team. Team looking for items. Casting that last minute ability is always fun. Nice, I got tickets. Anyway, it is now after 2 o'clock. I think that is a safe point to pause the stream. We had a good run. Went for a good 2 hours, 40 minutes or so. So let's chat. It's kind of nice to do some late night streams. A bit impromptu, but I hopefully people had fun watching and playing. I think overall, I'll see if I can get one more stream for Rare Item Week tomorrow. It'll probably be like 2 or 3 hours before it cycles over. I'll start the stream. But we'll do one last attempt at some good items. I did get a Galatine, so technically, like, if we're going on, like, a bingo list, I got a Heaven Striker. Wasn't crazy, but I did get one. I got a Galatine. We have a Frozen Shooter. So, you know, there's not too many items left in terms of I got it during the event-isms, I guess. So at some point, we'll hard focus DD2 in order to get, like, Vivians, or Rambling Maze, or Heaven Punishers, or Seal J Swords. So that'll be kind of nice. But overall, I think we're going to pause here for now. So thank you to everybody that joined the super late night stream. Hope you had fun playing quests, learning something new. And overall, it was nice to play with people. So thanks for watching, thanks for joining. And I hope you have a good day or a good night, depending on the time zone.